Hey everyone, it's Ashley with Going Crochet and welcome back to my channel if you've been here for a while. If you're new here, welcome in. I have just officially reached 1,000 subscribers, so thank you everyone who has subscribed to my channel. It really means a lot to me. I have some fun new projects in the works for upcoming videos, so I hope you guys join in and subscribe to continue watching if you haven't already subscribed, and thank you for coming back each and every time if you are subscribed with me. Today is part one because I'm gonna have to do this at least 2 or 3 more times, but today is part one of making patterns that I've paid for from Etsy, and they've just been sitting in my queue waiting for me to make them. I have so many that are asking me to review the pattern, and I can't review the pattern until I make the pattern. And so I have 6 patterns that I have made from those bought patterns that have just been sitting there. I think the oldest pattern I had in my queue was about a year old, that I bought it because I was really excited for it, and then I never made it because I just got distracted, because I don't know, in my crochet world, I get distracted a lot. I have a long list of things I want to make. Sometimes I don't feel like making them at that moment. Sometimes I forget about them, and on. So let's get right into things. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it a small little review of what I thought of the pattern, if I thought there was anything that needed to be adjusted, or if I really liked something about it. And I'm gonna start from my smallest and move up to my biggest projects that I've made. And I'm also going to share if I think it is a market-friendly pattern or not, and why. So number one, I've made this little mermaid. And she is a MadelineMae Co pattern, and she's called the Baby Mermaid. Now, do I think this is market friendly? Absolutely. She is just little, and she works up very quickly. I have just started making all of my MadelineMae Co patterns, and I've got to say, I really like all of them so far that I've made, and I have a lot of her patterns. So she's great. Pattern maker, and this one didn't disappoint either. The only thing I have to say that maybe is a little bit of a critique for her is the hair. So she does a great job at putting out a video. I actually went and watched it for the curling of the hair. I didn't have to do it because I used parfait chunky yarn, which automatically curled on its own, the way she had it done. But she explains how to do it if you're using like Bernat blanket yarn or anything like that. So that was a really nice video that she shared. But when it came to the bangs, she didn't really explain well on how to attach the bangs, because you have to make them kind of put up, and it just doesn't show the back part of the mermaid's head in any of the pictures, and it doesn't really explain well on how to attach them back. So I kind of just made up my own thing. I think it looks okay, maybe a little messy. I'm okay with how it turned out. But that was my only critique for this pattern, because I feel like it could have been explained a little bit better, especially for a beginner. But definitely this is a great pattern, perfect for markets. It worked up quite quick, maybe an hour make, and even with the hair takes a little bit longer, but it's a no-sew pattern. She's literally no-sew, which is awesome, and which helps out with all of those market preps. So I would say definitely if you want a Little Mermaid pattern and you like the way she looks, check her out. She's a good one, great for that market. So I'm gonna put her there so you guys can see her. My next make was by Love Knots Crochet. I think this is the one that took me the longest to get to. So this is the one I bought literally a year ago and I had not made it yet. This is the Sandworm monster, if you haven't guessed already, and it's a Beetlejuice creation. I am obsessed with Beetlejuice. I would say it's probably one of my favorite movies ever, especially for like the holiday season. And I watch it every year. I actually watched it while I made one of these patterns. You will see in a minute which one. It wasn't this one because I did this one when I was away and we don't have TV where we were. So this is my sandworm. This is made out of worsted weight. I followed the pattern with the worsted weight because I honestly thought this was gonna come out a lot bigger. I thought he was gonna be like this big versus this big. So I'm really excited to try this in Bernat blanket because of the amount of stitches that go around. I think this will turn out really cool with Bernat blanket and not use a crazy ton amount of yarn. And I think I'll get that large size that I'm looking for. So I'm definitely gonna make another one of these in Bernat blanket, probably in the very near future. So stay tuned on my shorts. You'll probably see a little video about that. But it was a very easy, well-written pattern, I felt like. And as you can see, he has his two heads and he has his different eyes and then he has his tongue, and it explains everything very clearly. I don't think I ran into any issues with this pattern. And for markets, do I think this would be good for markets? That depends on your crowd, right? Because it depends. Does your crowd like this type of creature, this type of character, or does it not? It probably took me over an hour to make him. There is some sewing involved. Like you have to sew the head, the tongue, and the fin. But the whole body is just one piece. So there is some sewing involved, so it does take a little bit of time. I feel like this is more of a novelty item, depending on what kind of crowd you attract. I feel like this is gonna be great for me and my market because this is what I'm obsessed with. Okay, I love Beetlejuice. I love that kind of stuff. So I feel like for me, marketability in a market is going to be a check plus. But if you're more of like a baby, an infant, lovey maker or a snuggler maker or something like that, maybe not. But for my crowd, this is 100% a yes, marketable. So I'm gonna put him over here. And I love the reaction of people that I've shown it to. You can definitely tell if they're a Beetlejuice fan or not because of the way they react to it. My mother-in-law doesn't know Beetlejuice and she was like, what is it? Is it a worm? And then like all the other people, like my friend and my sister-in-law and everything, I showed it to them and they're like, it's Beetlejuice Sandworm, and they were so excited. So it's definitely recognizable as well. All right, my next pattern, going back to MadelineMae Co for this one, and this is the giraffe, her little baby giraffe, and I literally used the exact same colors and yarn that she called for on this particular giraffe. This is with a parfait chunky. I think it's chocolate for the brown and sunshine for the yellow. And this is the size it came out to. And I was curious to see how big it would turn out in Sweet Snuggles Light. And so I made another one in Sweet Snuggles Light. And as you can see, it is slightly bigger. But they are both super cute. And I just adore how these turned out. This, I think this requires you have to sew on the the muzzle and these guys. I can never remember what they're called. They're like ocelloids or something like that. So you have to sew those on and these on. I believe these are crocheted in, and the arms are as well. So it's a low sew pattern, and I think it turned out super cute. I didn't run into any issues whatsoever. I didn't have to frog once with it. It turned out, it was nice and quick and easy. They are very quick makes. I think maybe like an hour-ish, maybe a few minutes longer than that. But they are very quick, and so definitely market friendly. See, comparable size, so you can have them right within the same price margin, because this is with parfait chunky, this was with parfait chunky. They turn out right about the same size, which I like. All right, so cute. All right, moving on to some bigger projects that I've made. So the last three are bigger projects. And the first one, I was a little disappointed when I went to pull up the pattern to link it down below and to take a picture to put right here of this guy, because apparently he is no longer on her Etsy page. So this pattern was made by MadelineMae, and I got this one, I believe, like maybe the same day as I got that Sandworm. So it's been about a year since I've had this pattern. And I loved it because it was like a little Krabby Patty, right? So it's a crab, but it's a cheeseburger. And I thought that was so fun. It was right around the time I was really focusing on like whimsical foods and stuff like that. And so I bought the pattern to make it, and then I didn't have the right colors in the, at the time I was using mostly Hobie yarn, and I couldn't get the browns in because they're like always out of stock, and so I couldn't get the browns in, so I couldn't make it. So I just kind of put it to the side and forgot about it. And when I pulled up this project, so I was like, oh yeah, I have the Krabby Patty to make. So unfortunately, chances of you being able to go ahead and buy this pattern are unlikely, since it no longer seems to be on her site. I don't know if maybe she has a website or something now. It's Hannah, Hannah, Made, Madeee. So it's a triple E at the end. So maybe you can look her up somewhere else and see if she has it available. I don't know why it was taken down, but if you wanted to make it, you could maybe contact her about it. Also, marketability, I'm probably not going to be whipping out a ton of these for a market. I felt like it took me forever. The wonderful thing about it is it's no sew. You make all of the legs and then the claws, and then you crochet them within the round when you get to that round. So that was really nice, but it felt like it took forever to make. I just kept making and making and making. I mean, obviously, it's a big guy. He's the size of my head. And so that's why. So if you like making big items and you don't mind taking a lot of time for like a one and done kind of item, I think he would be great to bring in a crowd. I think he's gonna, get a lot of people's attention, and he's super cute. I love how he turned out. And I think, if that is what you want, you're looking for something that's gonna be eye-catching and funny and whimsical, he's definitely like a good maybe one or two and done type of guy. I'm not gonna make another one of these unless I sell him quickly, and then I'll make another one after that. I think maybe if he was shrunk down to like half this size, he would be more of a market prep friendly guy. But as the size he is, I'm gonna say he's not quite market prep friendly, because he probably took me 3-4 hours to make, and that's just rough estimating it, because I only noticed how long it was taking to make him when I got to the burger portion. So I don't even know how long all of these limbs it took me to make. So great, super cute. I love him. I may make another one in the future. I may try to shrink him down a little bit to make him more market friendly, but I really enjoyed the pattern. I had zero issues with this pattern. I just don't think he would be quite market friendly. All right, moving on to the next guy. So I think you can tell who I made while I was watching Beetlejuice the other day. So it's Cursed Heart Creations Beetle Kid, and he is big. Like, once again, his head is like the size of my head. Now, I love him. He's awesome. He's super heavy. Holy moly. I ended up using Big Twist Plush for his head and his, for the white and the black. So I think that made him even larger. Market friendly, I would say no. He took a long time to make as well because you have to make all of the pieces and then you have to sew them on. And then you have to make the hair. And there is another option for the hair. You don't have to do like the hair like I did. I took acrylic yarn, and I still have to fix it up a little bit more. But I took acrylic yarn and I, attached all of the hair, and then I brushed it out to make it the crazy hair because I feel like that looks more like Beetlejuice than the other option of looping it. And so that's why I went with that. But that alone probably took me 2 hours to do. And then I also need to fix his little mold spots. I took some eyeshadow to make his mold spots, but I didn't have quite dark enough of a color. So I do have to adjust that as well. And I did take some eyeshadow to his eyes as well. So you just, make the eyeshadow on here, which I like that part. Do I love him? I do. I will probably put him out at a market, but I'm gonna put a really high price on him, and chances of him selling are probably gonna be pretty limited based off of if you have like a super fan like me of Beetlejuice, especially with the new movie coming out. It might be helpful with getting him sold, but I'm gonna put a really high price on him because I just kind of want to keep him for myself, because I bought him for myself. It wasn't really for a market. It was more for because I just love Beetlejuice. I literally applied for the pattern test and I did not get in. And so the second she posted that it was a pattern release, I ran and I got him. And then he was kind of sitting in my cart, or not in my cart, but in my queue, waiting for me to make him since it came out. It's only been a couple months that he's been out, but he was definitely one I wanted to make sooner than later. So not market friendly, I would say, but if once again, just like the Sandworm, if you do want to draw in a crowd and if you do kind of attract this type of crowd, he is definitely something that would be great as like a one and done type of guy. I love him. He's probably gonna stay home with me. He is so heavy. All right, let me put him here. There we go. And Tracker keeps getting in my space. And now for the last guy. It's so funny. I had this body made for a long time. I had plans of making this a long time ago, and I ran out of that yarn and I just kind of lost track. I didn't really feel like making it once I did get the yarn, but now I have the yarn and I've had the inspiration because that's kind of the whole point of this video. So I made it, and this is a Red Mills crochet pattern for the Fury inspired baby dragon. And so there's two reasons why this project got stalled out. It wasn't only because I ran out of that yarn, it's because I didn't have the right eyes. So I don't know if you can see them really well, but these are the eyes I just got the other day, and that goes along with that whole topic I discussed in a previous video. I bought the kawaii eyes, and I bought them in a 25 millimeter for this project specifically, with green and with blue, so I could make Toothless and the Light Fury. And I ended up mailing that to my husband. You can hear the whole story in my previous video from Wednesday. But I ended up finally making her, and so I do like her. She is humongous. She's very long. So this is like the baby version versus like hers, because she also has like a Red Mills Snuggler version of this, which is even larger. But this ended up taking like 2 skeins of yarn because it was all in the white. So it took 2 full skeins of the yarn, and it was the Sweet Snuggles light yarn. And the only negatives of her is you have to do a lot of sewing. You have to sew the 2 tail pieces on, the 4 legs on, the 2 wings, and for me it was the 4 ears. She also has an option for some center ears as well if you want to do that. Oh, and the head. So there's a lot of sewing for this project. So that might limit your marketability, or that might limit the amount of Fury dragons you want to make. I'm just gonna hold it like a baby. So that might limit the amount of Fury dragons you're gonna want to make for a market. Do I think it would be a good, centerpiece for your market? Absolutely, especially if you have a white one and a black one, which I do plan to make the black one once I get my green eyes like this, but it's gonna be a couple more weeks before I do. So definitely great for if you want that eye stopping piece. But I wouldn't say you're going to be whipping out like 5 of these for one market, because one, the price point on this is going to be a lot higher. Like I said, 2 skeins of yarn, a ton of polyfill, the eyes, and then a lot of time goes into it. I don't know exact length of time because it was split up, but I've been working on this all morning. So for the head, the ears, the legs, the tail ends, and the wings. So just that alone probably took me 2-3 hours of making and sewing. And then the whole body piece on its own was a whole other project. But do I regret making her? Absolutely not. I think she turned out beautiful. I love those eyes, and I am very happy with the end result. I love Red Mills crochet patterns. I have a bunch of them. I have the Winnie. I've made Winnie like 5 times. Is that a market-friendly prep either? Absolutely not. But I've made it 5 times, so it must be a good pattern because it's fun to make. So sometimes maybe it's not all about a quick make. Maybe it's just for the joy of making it. And this one I knew was mostly for the joy of making it. I knew it was going to take me a while to make. I knew it was going to be a big project. I know I'm probably not going to sell it very quickly, but I definitely wanted to make it because I wanted to make it for myself, just for the enjoyment of making it. So this is another one that's a thumbs up. So I would say I am extremely happy in all of these makes that I made the past couple weeks for this challenge of mine. And I can't wait to get more done to show you guys, because I have probably another, if I do 6 per video, I probably have another 3-4 videos I could create out of patterns that I have bought but I have not made yet. So stay tuned for those. I have another fun review style videos coming up in the next couple of videos. And with that, go ahead, like, comment down below what your favorite pattern was that you saw here, and if you think you're gonna make one of these patterns, which one you would make. And shoot a crab and a cheeseburger in the emojis to let me know you got all the way through this video. Make sure to subscribe if you've been watching and or you want to continue seeing more from me. And I will see all of you guys next time. Bye.